Matt Gaetz is once again in scandal. And once again, it's because he can't stop diddling children. Matt Gaetz' future stepsister-in-law says he's a gaslighting creep. Matt Gaetz has recently been under scandal because Venmo payments showed him making payments to underage sex workers from his good pal, who also happened to burn down a local government building in the state of Florida and funnel money to buy weapons and drones as he was in an identity theft scandal. Anyway, this new scandal shows his own family coming out to admit that we all know, we will basically come out and admit what we all know to be truth, that he's a gaslighting creep, to be specific. Roxanne Luckey says the Florida Republican tried to set her up with an older man when she was 19 and went full lawyer when she confronted him. Oh my God, I need to hear this. Representative Matt Gaetz' sister-in-law appears to have more than enough of the Florida congressman, posting 3 TikTok videos in the last 2 days slamming him as weird and creepy and a literal pedophile. Okay, let's see. I want to see these TikToks.
Baby, I'm a gangster too, and it takes 2 to tango.
Jesus Christ.
Hello, whoever is gonna watch this. I just wanted to make like a follow-up video because while that other video was just like a short little humorous thing, there is so much more to the story and about like what I know about Matt Gaetz. And so I just wanted to like come on here and kind of clarify some things because it is definitely a serious situation. And I also wanted to share a little bit of my story and why I have the perspective that I do. First off, I just wanted to clarify, I now realize that I use the incorrect terminology. It is not pedophilia, it is ephebophilia, which is being attracted.
Oh God. No, the libertarians got her.
To like post-pubescent teens in the age range of 15 to 19. I also want to clarify that this is a very long story that I'm going to have to sum up very quickly. And I also want to put it out there that this is from my point of view. There's 2 sides to every story, and I acknowledge that. But this is what I experienced. So last summer when I was living in DC and interning there, basically, Matt had just started dating my sister, and
what a terrible reality.
He had a friend that I had met and kind of knew that was around Matt's age, like had a kid, had been divorced, and this guy kept telling me like, oh, Matt told me I should ask you out, like that we'd be great together, yada yada, and I would just make jokes and be like,
if it's Matt age, that means like 35, right? Matt Gaetz is like, how old is Matt Gaetz? Dude is almost 40.
Haha, like I'm 19, like that's weird. And I just thought he was kind of joking, and then he definitely like started being more vocal and saying creepy things and being like, I had a boyfriend at the time. He's like, oh, when you break up with your boyfriend, let me know, and so you can have a real man. Just creepy stuff. And he later like texted me and was like, oh, sorry about what I said. I just wanted to get Matt off my back. Like Matt told me I should ask you out, yada, yada, yada. So I decided to confront Matt about it and be like, hey, why were you telling your friend to ask me out and like be like, that's just weird and creepy. So come Thanksgiving, when I finally had the chance to see him face to face, I was straight up with him and I was like, what is up with this? Why did your friend say this? Very much was like, wanted to hear his side of the story. And he just immediately got so defensive, started yelling at me and my mom. He called me a narcissist, was just 1,000% gaslighting me.
A narcissist.
I literally was just like standing there asking him like, are you going to listen to what I have to say? And he went full lawyer on me. Like, I don't have to listen to you. I don't have to answer your questions, whatever. And as far as I'm concerned, someone who is innocent shouldn't be.
Can I be honest? Maybe Matt Gaetz was angry about the matter because this individual, Roxanne, being 19 was just too old for him. No, he seems to like people below the age of 18 particularly, so Maybe that was the point of contention.
Getting so defensive and literally being a grown man yelling at a 20-year-old girl, it was just beyond me. I want to make sure I don't miss any key points, so I'm going to make a second video, so stay tuned.
Okay, let's watch the second video.
So basically, to continue the story, after I had this encounter with Matt and just saw his character and the type of person he is, when everything came out about him, I honestly, unfortunately, was not surprised. And it wasn't just this encounter I had with Matt. When I was in DC, I heard...
Do you know how condemning it is to have your own family call you a pedophile? I mean, the Venmo payments show him to be a pedophile. The FBI investigation seems to be showing him to be a pedophile. And now his own family is calling him a pedophile. You know, when there's smoke, there's usually fire.
Kind of through the grapevine stuff about him, you know, everything is hearsay, but just he had a reputation for prowling after college girls when he's a grown man, and to me that's just kind of weird. And while that little video I made was such a minuscule thing and I know does not properly bring to light the whole situation, if I can just bring some attention to it so people are aware of what is going on and people can be held accountable, that's my goal. And as someone who has personally experienced a ton of creepy old politician men hitting on me when I was underage and experiencing sexual assault at that age by people of power, it's just very disheartening. And I have zero tolerance for people like him. And I think politicians need to be held accountable for their actions. And I'm tired of them getting away with this type of stuff. And I think it's important that we are just aware and hold people accountable to whatever.
How did Matt Gaetz think he was going to get away with this when he can't even get his own family to not just come out and say he's a pedophile? Honestly, how did he think he was going to be able to run this angle that is a deep state conspiracy going against him? Is this family member of his paid by the deep state? Did the deep state get this woman? Is that what happened?
Extent we can. There is so much more I could say.
Okay, let's read the rest of the story. Roxanne Luckey, the sister of Gaetz' fiancée, Ginger Luckey, was sharply critical of the congressman and his treatment of young women, say she was not surprised or have learned that Gaetz was under federal investigation for alleged sex crimes. In one video, Monday night, Roxanne told a story about a Gaetz pressuring an older man to court her when she was 19. She called the move weird and creepy and claims Gaetz yelled at her and her mother and went full lawyer when she confronted him. I saw the character and the type of person he is when everything came out about him. I honestly, unfortunately, was not surprised, Luckey said in one video. As someone who has personally experienced a ton of creepy old politician, we already listened to her say that. Roxanne, who in 2020 worked briefly as a White House intern, she added that she is tired of them getting away with this type of stuff. After the video was posted, Ginger Luckey hit back at her sister, telling the Daily Beast she had a history of destructive behavior. Roxanne, who is 20 now, said she was sharing her experiences in part because of her interactions with powerful men and her belief that it's important to hold people accountable to whatever extent we can. There is so much more to the story, and what I know about Matt Gaetz, she added, it is definitely a serious situation. Look, Matt, I'm sorry, but the thing is, you know Jeffrey Epstein. It doesn't look like you're going to be able to run away from justice for very long. Not because you are particularly like the worst of the worst pedophiles, as in you have offended so much that people just couldn't stop catching you. Even though we only have one instance of you offending, there's most likely others. It's mostly because you're stupid and you're so easily caught. And if you are so incompetent and unlikable that even your own family will come out and admit that you're a pedophile and a creep, and you're trying to get other oldie 39, 40-year-old men to creep on 19-year-old women, then Matt, how did you think you were going to get away with this? This is Bay of Pigs level of incompetence.